that could be a will breaker.
Touchdown, Michigan. A moment to remember.
The piercing cry of the sportscaster, the sound of November Saturdays, calling forth new memories, new history in the big games. All the names and numbers from other seasons tumbling into the renewal of this old rivalry. Each pass, each run, each tackle adding to the fabric. Each note from the old fight song collecting themselves to make you remember the words, to sing the song, to remember when you were 21. Once again, feel the abandon of pure fun for one more afternoon of college football. We start this traditional day at the Horseshoe, Ohio Stadium in Columbus, for the 95th game between the Michigan Wolverines and the Ohio State Buckeyes. The final round of games of the Big Ten Conference for 1998 indicates at least 5 bowl teams. Michigan State might make it 6, but those 3 teams you see listed there are the story today. Very briefly, this is how it plays out. If Michigan wins here at Ohio State today, they win the conference outright, go to the Rose Bowl. If Ohio State wins and Wisconsin beats Penn State, then Wisconsin goes. If Ohio State can beat Michigan here at home and Penn State beat Wisconsin up at Camp Randall, then Ohio State could get a ticket to Pasadena. You're right, the championship game is a remote possibility. Right now, let's spend a moment with John Saunders and Todd Blackley.
All right, Keith, thanks a lot. And you always get excited about this game. Confession, the very first college football game I ever saw in person was Michigan and Ohio State.
1969, same year Bo Schembechler, first year as a head coach. I'll tell you what, it's going to be a great football game. I think Ohio State will get it done today. Kansas State threw that big monkey off their back last week. Ohio State today because of Joe Germain. And I think Andy Katzenmoyer has a huge game. And
I am not that much older than Bo Schembechler. That's game number 1 of our doubleheader.
For some divine intervention, it's all coming up after this message and word from our ABC station.
Like Joe Germain, the starting quarterback for today's ball game. Former Letterman forming the line and saying goodbye with the seniors. Now, let's move to the current circumstances. This has been the theme around here for a good long time. This was in the Columbus Dispatch, the local newspaper, yesterday. Bob Greasy, does it become a mindset when you've won one time in 10 years?
It sure does. And looking at that picture, I've been on the bottom of that. I felt like I've had a grill a few times. But it does. If you're a Michigan player and fan, you're a great historian this week. If you're an Ohio State player or fan, John Cooper says all we can do is go out and make big plays. We've got the opportunity to do something about it this week. We've heard about this all year. Now we've got a chance to go out and do something about it.
The fever pitch for the game is as strong as it's ever been. And here is graduating senior linebacker Jerry Rudzinski to put his fingerprint on the feeling about the game.
You're not judged how you do throughout the season. You're judged how you do against Michigan. People want to know when you leave what your record was against Michigan. Whether that's right or wrong, I'm not to say, but I know I want to leave here saying that I got a piece of them and they didn't own me. So I think the game becomes a little more personal for us seniors.
In Columbus, Ohio. I'm Lynn Swan. Now, I graduated and played football for the University of Southern California, so I know what it's like to play in a football game like this one. The expectations are high, and you have to play not good football, but great football. And it was to that end that John Cooper addressed his football team. He said the difference between Ohio State winning and Michigan in the last couple of years, great efforts like that from guys like Tim Biakabatuka, from Charles Woodson. These are the people who have stepped up. He is looking for someone for him from his Buckeye football team to step up and not play good, but to play great and to give them a win. Keith?
All right, Swanee, thanks very much. Michigan has won the toss. They will defer. They want to start the second half with the ball. So the Buckeyes will have it as Hayden Epstein kicks it off for the white-shirted Wolverines. Michael Wiley and Jonathan Wells are waiting for it. It's Wiley drifting well back into the end zone, and Michael will not return it. It'll come out to the 20. And Chili's starting lineup for the Buckeyes. Then along the front, the left tackle is very, very important today. You got to keep the quarterback alive and upright. Two of the best in the country at wide receiver for the Buckeyes, David Boston and D. Miller. Boston, the career leader for Ohio State with 170 catches and 32 touchdowns. In the backfield, senior tailback Joe Montgomery gets the start primarily because he is a senior, has come back from a big injury. Michael Wiley will play probably more than Montgomery today. Quarterback Joe Germain and the receivers may have to win this one because in the Big Ten and the big games, you stop the run. So the first snap of this 95th renewal. Germain is back to throw. He's hit as he throws, and the ball sails out of bounds, incomplete. And the man who came busting through is Rob Reines, who anchors that defensive front for Michigan. The Wolverines are 7th nationally in total defense, and they have been owning the second half this season. James Hall playing like a man possessed. The linebackers are quick. 93, Sam Sword will pass 100 tackles today. In the secondary, the cornerbacks can expect a hard day. Strong safety Tommy Hendricks, a hard hitter who loves to hang around the line of scrimmage. But in some, special teams. Marcus Ray is now on in the secondary for the Wolverines as Germain rolls it out and throws too high for Kenyon Rambo, who was open.
Two throws by Joe, and both throws have been high. Germain coming into this ball game outstanding. In fact, he leads the Big Ten in pass efficiency, averaging 278 yards per game. Michael Wiley was in on the second play of the game, Keith, and Michigan went to their dime package, 6 defensive backs on the second play of the game.
The high ball means the old adrenaline pump is working.
And Germain threw on the first play of the game, and he was knocked down on the first play.
So it is 3rd and 10, and he'll throw for a third time. Good protection down the middle, and the pass is incomplete. Intended for Kevin Griffin. Kevin Griffin, who's been a stout performer on the special teams for Ohio State, had the ball in his hands, but he didn't catch it.
Well, one thing that Michigan wants to do is be physical with Germain and with the receivers. 3 passes, 3 incompletions.
The history of this series is physical.
Well, that's exactly right. And talking with both sides, they both used that word.
Brent Bartholomew is in to punt. Marcus Knight is waiting for it. Bartholomew, a very good punter, averaging a little over 41 yards per kick this year on 47 punts. No pressure on him. Kick is out. It's a good one. And it backs up Knight all the way to the 28-yard line on a fair catch. They will bring him out to the 31, 32, where he originally signaled a fair catch. Chilly starting lineup for the Wolverines. From September to here, this offensive front is the most improved group on this team. John Jansen remains the leader at tackle. The wide receivers, Ty Streets, having a huge year. He may have a big one today. They need him to. They've got to look for him, find him, and throw some jump balls, perhaps. The backfield, quarterback Tom Brady must be patient. He must look for his tight end, and the running backs have to protect the ball. Don't put it on the ground. They pitch it to Clarence Williams, and Williams eludes one man behind the line of scrimmage, looks up, and there's a second one there, and then Ryan Pickett brings him down. No gain, maybe a little bit. The Ohio State defense looks like they're going to be swarming today. Along the front, there are 3 sophomores and a freshman. If they can get a draw with a Michigan offensive front, then the linebackers should have a big day. Michigan likes to go north and south. That's why that front needs to protect the linebackers. I'll give you the secondary in a moment. There they are. They're a good one. 2nd down and 9. That's Ty Streets turning upfield and may have turned too soon. There's your penalty flag, and it's thrown to the far side out of bounds. I think the wide receivers were moving downfield too soon.
I think you're right there, Hoss. And the players are a little bit nervous. They've got butterflies, probably the size of buzzards. But they need to settle down here a little bit.
The referee is Bill Lemonnier.
Expects both defenses to dominate here early in the ballgame.
Illegal motion on the offense. The penalty is applied. 3rd down.
The umpire is Roger Haberer today. The linesman Dennis Gettle. Tom Hoffman, the line judge. Field judge is Denny Freund. Side judge is Tom Perot. And the back judge is Tom Herbert. It'll be 3rd down and 9 for Michigan. Jeremy Tooman has left the field now, number 80, the tight end. And they're squeezing the play clock. It's down to 5. David Terrell, a burner, is in. 3, 2. They get the snap away. Tom Brady back to throw. Has time. Throws too high. He's lucky that one's not picked off. Diallo Johnson was down under the ball, but when you throw it high down the middle of the field, bad things happen.
Johnson jumped as high as he could and just got a piece of it, but what it did, it stopped an interception with the overthrow from behind the Ohio State defense. Brady does a nice job of moving around. Now he throws it high. If he doesn't touch that ball, it's picked off by Moore.
Kick is away by Jason Benson. Waiting is David Boston, and Boston fields it up at the 31-yard line. So the Buckeyes get a little better field position for the second possession. Could ever find to put on a John Cooper and his career at Ohio State would be that. The lack of success that the Buckeyes have had against Michigan, that team from up north. In the meantime, Lloyd Carr has yet to taste the bitter end of a meeting against Ohio State. And if he can win here today, then his team is going back to the Rose Bowl for a successive time. Right now, the Buckeyes' second offensive possession. 1st and 10 from their 31, and Michael Wiley is the tailback. And they're throwing again, or they're trying to throw again.
The fumble?
And they took a lick from James Hall, and Hall figures to be a prime tormentor all day as Matt Keller covered the ball. So they're just calling it an incomplete forward pass and move it back up to the line of scrimmage.
Again, Keith, as you mentioned, pressure on the quarterback, and that is one thing that Jim Herman, the defensive coordinator, said that he wants to do is pressure Jermaine. 4 straight passes, no runs yet for Ohio State. Jermaine is 0 for 4. Brady is 0 of 2.
Here's your run. Wiley over the right side. Michael Wiley finds daylight. Michael Wiley takes it across the 45 to the 46, a pickup of 15 yards before Grady Brooks brought him down for the Wolverines, and it's 1st down Buckeyes.
I like the call, Keith. Mike Jacobs, the offensive coordinator, sees that Michigan is really rushing the passer, calls kind of a delayed draw with huge holes up there, and Wiley gets the first big play of the game.
James Hall is over there now with the tight end Lumpkin, and you got a corner sitting up over there on the corner. Looks like they might want to blitz it. Here he comes, and the play will go the other way, away from the blitz area, with Matt Keller carrying for a short gain.
How good is this Ohio State offense? Well, they're pretty good. They're 4th in the nation in total offense, averaging over 500 yards per game, and they're averaging 37 points per game.
First quarter of play, no score. Ohio State just picked up the first down of the ball game. It's 2nd down and 9. Wiley with the pitch. Got a block from Keller. Gets around the corner. Look out! It's a foot race. He's gone. Touchdown, Ohio State. No flags. Matt Keller, the first big block. Ben Gilbert opened the door, and have a nice trip, Michael.
They just showed you how dominant that offense for Ohio State can be. They're averaging over 200 yards per game rushing the ball, and that'll go a long way towards helping that average.
The extra point try by Dan Stoltz is good. At 12:20 to go in the first quarter, the Ohio State Buckeyes strike. 53-yard touchdown run by Michael Wiley. to you by Tostitos, proud sponsor of the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, this year's College Football National Championship. So the Buckeyes jump to a 7-0 lead. We'll kick it off now with Anthony Thomas waiting for the Wolverines. Stoltz' kick goes to the goal line. Thomas coming up the middle. Hit right on the ball, but holds on to it and stopped at the 23.
Let's go back to look at the touchdown from behind the offense. Watch Keller, number 23, with a big block on the outside, and 64 Gilbert. There's the first block. Gilbert 64, and a nice block on Sword. This does a lot for the psyche of the Ohio State Buckeyes, Keith. Last year in this ball game, they fell behind big and had to play catch up.
Now Michigan on first down from the 23. Brady turns, gives to Clarence Williams, and Williams came very close to sailing out of there. Antoine Winfield was in there to plug the hole.
Was made by David Moore and Antoine Winfield.
Gary Berry, number 1 for Ohio State, was just trampled under that horde over there, but he gets up and he's all right.
Well, that secondary, as we've mentioned before, is one of the best in the country, and Tom Brady is going to have to be throwing because he's not going to be able to run all day.
2nd down and 4, and Brady wants to go big down the sidelines for Marcus Knight, and it is incomplete. No, it's Ty Streets, 86. He was well covered by Antoine Winfield, though Winfield gives away about 6 inches, and here's Lynn Swann.
Well, Keith, Tom Brady is playing in his first game as a starter in Michigan-Ohio State series, and one of the things that John Cooper wanted to let people know coming to this ball game is that he wanted the fans to make a lot of noise. The Ohio State fans traditionally can sit on their hands until they see a great play, but he said if you make a lot of noise, it might distract him in his first big-time rivalry game, Keith.
Well, they're trying. Aaron Shea, the man in motion. Brady back to throw it again to the sidelines. He throws for Clarence Williams, and he threw over the other shoulder. Williams is looking back to the inside. He threw to the outside. The Wolverines will punt.
Good coverage by the by the Buckeyes. Nobody open in the secondary.
Jason Vincent's second punt of the day, waiting for it. And the ball, bad snap, and Vincent kicks it out of bounds. Special teams, special teams, special teams.
I think I heard you say that in the opening.
Kevin Griffin, the man who spoiled it.
The ball goes right through the hands of Vincent, the punter.
Little high.
The punter catches that every time.
Yep. The ball's on the 16-yard line.
Special teams mistake. Last year, Michigan had a big punt return by Woodson. This year, it's a mistake by the punter that gives the Buckeyes great field position.
The ball is at the Michigan 16-yard line, minus 13 if you're looking at stats on that punt. That doesn't define the agony of the moment for Michigan. This is Michael Wiley getting pursuit from the other side, and they track him down. Sword and Peterson and Deonne Jones and Marcus Ray. So they're flying to the ball, but they're looking down a barrel right here. 7-0, the Buckeyes lead. The mistake on the punt by the punter, and they lost a yard on that play. Maybe 2 yards. So call it 2nd down and 12. You got a double tight end alignment for the Buckeyes. Jermaine back to throw, throws underneath. Umpire sort of got involved in the play for David Boston, and David got it back to just about the original line of scrimmage before Sam Sword make the tackle.
Was made by Sam Sword.
Sam is used to making tackles. He has been the leading tackler on this Wolverine defense for the last 3 years.
That's the first pass completion of the day. Sword will go over 100 tackles today. I think he needs 3 more.
He saw the umpire. He saw that ball coming. He just did a nice duck.
That's right.
duck and get out of the way.
You know, I tell you what, you better be limber and in good shape to be an umpire.
Well, that is the worst position of all of the officiating, one right there, right in the middle of everything.
Jermaine back. Going to the end zone. Touchdown, D. Miller.
Great throw and catch. Joe Germain, a big confidence builder right there.
The extra point by Stoltz is good. So the Buckeyes cash in the Michigan mistake.
This is a post pattern. Germain's going to throw it to the inside. Good protection there. Double coverage. He threw it to the inside. There's double coverage. Miller gets up and kind of hangs and holds on till the ball gets there. That's just good execution.
You better get all you can get in the first half against Michigan. That's been the story all year because nobody's done much of anything against them in the second half.
And Keith and Bob, I've always liked D. Miller. He is a receiver that has a great deal of class and poise, especially the way he gets up in traffic and goes and gets that ball. That was the only place Jermaine could have put it safely. He had to get up just a little bit, and he makes a great catch in his hands. So keep in mind, this is where it gets dangerous for Ohio State. They've gotten out to big leads and sometimes just sat back on them. They need to develop more of the killer instinct, Keith.
Right, especially against this team. Anthony Thomas comes up. There'll be return on this one from the 8-yard line. Down to Crack, gets him across the 25 and out close to the 28. Tomorrow at 1 Eastern, 12 noon Pacific on ABC Sports, finals of the Chase Championships from Madison Square Garden, season-ending event of the Corral WTA Tour. About $2 million in prize money available for that.
20-yard return. Line of scrimmage is the 27.
Michigan back to the attack now. They're in trouble. They're down 14-0. Wolverines must win if they want to go to Pasadena for a second successive year. They give it to the fullback, Aaron Shea. On the first snap of this possession, he picks up about 3 before Mike Collins, a freshman out of Newark, New Jersey, makes the tackle for the Bucks.
Shea doesn't carry the ball very often. Last year he was a tight end. This year he's a fullback, and he's been blocking really well and catching the ball out of the backfield. In fact, the offense the last couple of games has really played very well.
9 minutes to go in the first quarter of play. Ohio State defense jumping around. Plummer going across with Marcus Knight to cover him. Drop back, set up a screen. It goes to the fullback Shea, and Aaron Shea is up across the 37, 38-yard line. That'll be a first down.
And one of the reasons that offense has been playing well the last few games is because of Aaron Shea. Well, here's last week, Aaron Shea. He's circled right there. The guard is going to pull, and Shea, he knocks off one guy and then knocks 2 other guys down on the touchdown run by Thomas.
So first down for the Wolverines, their first of the ball game. Ball is pitched back. Here comes Shea again. He's caught by the shoulder pad and dragged down by Katzenmoyer. Andy Katzenmoyer, his first tackle of the day as a solo. Stuck out that big old hand and just jerked him down.
When you talk about Andy Katzenmoyer, you see the size and the force, but I think what impresses offensive coordinators is his speed. And that time, when the guard pulled and the line opened up, he just ran through and knew he had enough time and enough speed to catch the ball carrier from behind.
Second down and 6. Brady throws for Streets, and it is incomplete. Coverage by Antoine Winfield, and over there to help some was number 13, Damon Moore. Antoine Winfield is 5'9", and Ty Streets is 6'4".
It's a great matchup right here. Two of the best in the conference, if not in the country. Antoine Winfield, he was the most valuable player on this team last year, and is third in tackles this year as a cornerback.
It is 3rd and 6 for the Wolverines. Shea is the man in motion. Pretty good receiver. Brady's pass underneath goes to Tooman, the tight end, and Jeremy Tooman takes a wallop. Woo. I'll tell you, he took a wallop. Winfield and Katzenmoyer assassinated him.
Well, those are the two best players on that defense, and I think he came up just short of the first down.
Be a yard short. Watch this hit, though. I mean, this is what you would call a tattoo. Now watch this. Boom, boom. Oh, man. That'll get the liniment. So they'll come up a yard short, and they'll kick it away. They don't want to give Ohio State any more opportunity than necessary. This time the punter handles the ball, Vinson, but does not get a very good kick out of it. He lucks out, however. It takes a Michigan bounce and rolls on down inside the 15-yard line. So a good bounce for the Wolverines, but they trail 14-0. John Cooper's Ohio State Buckeyes, the last two times they've had the ball, they've scored. They lead 14-0. I know it's very early and perhaps even far-fetched to suggest this possession might be a big possession of the ball game, but I think it is. If the Buckeyes keep on moving that ball the other way, look out.
That's a good point, Keith. Of course, Michigan defensively has got to come up with a stop or a turnover.
Well, they've got 7 men in the box right now, and 2 more waiting. And they'll throw to the sidelines, and they don't get much out of it. David Boston made the catch, but they do move it from the 14 to the 20. So that's about a 6-yard pickup. 20.
Well, Keith, part of what makes a rivalry great is the history of the game, and David Boston's history and most recent memory of this Michigan-Ohio State game is not good. It was a very physical contest. They came after him every time. He dropped 3 passes in that ball game. What drives David Boston in today's ball game is to step up and to play a much better, much more mature football game and help the Buckeyes win, Keith.
2nd down and 4. Ball at the 20-yard line. Jermaine throws again. Same man. And he twists back, reaches for the marker. They say, no, you're on the chart. A yard short of the first down. Andre Weathers covering on the play. Weathers is 6'1". Boston is the bigger man at 6'3", 215.
Well, if they can get the ball out to David Boston and he can break a tackle by Weathers, he's got tremendous ability and speed and running ability to go all the way.
3rd down and 1. Bob mentioned confidence a while ago. They started this possession on the 14. They've thrown it twice. That tells you something about their confidence in Jermaine and the receivers. Blitz comes. They pick it up. They throw the ball. It's incomplete. So instead of doing the conventional thing of having the fullback stick his head in there for a yard on 3rd and 1, they go back to the pass intended for Miller, and it doesn't work as Whitley makes the play.
That tells you they've got tremendous confidence in their pass game. And as you mentioned, the confidence, Michigan had it coming in, and I think the Buckeyes have it right now.
So the Wolverine defense does its job, and they force the Buckeyes to the punt. Bartholomew will hit the ball at about his own 12, 13-yard line. And waiting for it is Marcus Knight. And no pressure on Bartholomew. It's a good kick. It runs Knight back to the 30-yard line. There's a push in the back. There's your flag. So it's going to be a penalty against the Wolverines, as somebody, Peterson, I guess it was, William Peterson, ran up Buckeyes' back. That is the most common foul of all fouls, I think, today.
You're right, Keith, and I think one of the reasons is there are a lot of backups playing on the special teams. Guys that want to come in and do something and contribute, and they're running down the field and they see a block and they want to do something and they shouldn't do it.
Block in the back. 10-yard penalty. First down.
To the right of the screen. It's close, but it's definitely in the back.
And that moves the Michigan possession starting point back inside the 21-yard line. 5:50 left to play in the first quarter. 14-0 Ohio State. Clarence Williams is the deep back. He has the ball. He's hit at the line of scrimmage by Katzenmoyer, losing but falling forward as he lost his balance to pick up a couple of yards.
This defense right at the top or near the top in almost every defensive category. They're first in rushing defense, allowing only 73 yards per game.
Second down and 8. Double wide receivers, top of the picture. Fake, look out. Niall Diggs missed him, and he gets the ball away to Tooman. And Jeremy Tooman, the tight end, will go for a first down out at the 42-yard line.
Well, that's a big play by Brady because he was looking at a sack by Diggs, and he gets free and hits Tooman and makes a positive play out what could have been a big sack. 32, the left of your screen, comes unabated and just barely gets it off. Keeps it alive. Brady does a nice job.
It's first down, Michigan at their 42-yard line.
Somebody lost a mouthpiece or something. Something went flying.
Shea, fullback. Nothing.
You're not going to run on a steady diet against this defense. We just showed you they lead the nation in run defense.
See Diggs stomping around there saying, how did I miss that guy? But he did.
There's Diggs. He leads this team in tackles. He's been a big improvement. In fact, you know, people talk about Katzenmoyer not having the numbers this year as he's had in the past. Well, I think one of the reasons is Niall Diggs playing so well.
Second down, call it 9.5. Shea busy, goes in motion. Brady back to throw. They take Diggs down on a good block and giving the quarterback time. He just drills it to the fullback out of the backfield, and we'll have another Michigan first down. So the Wolverine offense now beginning to look quite positive.
Yeah, and how are they doing it, Keith? Mike DeBoard, the offensive coordinator, going inside to his backs and tight ends.
That's Clarence Williams that took Diggs down there.
And this is the fullback. I think that's where you have to go. You can move the ball up and down the field, hitting your tight end and your backs.
Brady on first down, flushed and dropped. Damon Moore, safety. Number 13, senior from Fostoria, Ohio. Good player.
An outstanding player. He's the second leading tackler on this team, Keith. He had an interception for a touchdown in that loss to Michigan State. Both teams doing the same thing, pressuring the quarterback and tight coverage. You see the bump and run at the top. Moore comes, he was acting like he was going to cover the slot guy and then got free and caused the sack.
Second down and 12 now from the Ohio State 46-yard line. Michigan operating on the Buckeye side of the field for the first time today. Brady gives the ball to Williams, trying to get outside. There's coverage over there, and it is good coverage by Ahmed Plummer. The quarterback who came up didn't accept the juke and dropped him right near midfield.
It's an aggressive defense. You're not going to bounce outside with this team and this much speed. You're going to have to keep it up inside. They've tried, but Katzenmoyer and Diggs and Rudzinski have been there. It's a tough call here, Keith.
No, it is. Ball very near the midfield stripe. It is 3rd and 16.
Against this defense. Here they come.
Give it to Williams, and he isn't going anywhere. He loses back to the 46-yard line as Joe Brown, a defensive tackle, got the penetration that spoiled the play. Looping around was Diallo Johnson. trying to effect the play, but he couldn't find him. He couldn't get there. They just plugged it up. Jason Vincent to punt. Boston is waiting for it. That's a good kick, and Boston's going to let it go. And it's, I'm not sure, a good decision because it rolls dead at the 2-yard line.
Yeah, Boston has got all kinds of electricity, but should have caught that one.
Coming up next on ABC Sports, regional action on Showdown Saturday, bowl bids, all that sort of stuff, bragging rights, Florida and Florida State. In the Pac-10, you got USC, UCLA. In the Big 12, you got Kansas State, one of the top-ranked teams in the country, up at Missouri on grass in Columbia. So check your local listings for the game in your area or your cable or satellite company.
On grass, are you referring to Michael Bishop? And
yes,
the Kansas State
and the fact that Hickson is dinged up and probably not available for Kansas State.
This is kind of rivalry weekend, is it not?
Yep.
Is Kansas State and Missouri have a big thing going?
No, the play clock is going to run down on them if they don't hurry. They just got it off on the last tick. Give the ball away to Joe Montgomery, who's back in the lineup, and Montgomery's going to lose a yard on that play.
Barely got out of the end zone.
Just barely. Play was very slow getting it in, and then even slower evolving.
Quarterbacks hate that. I mean, give me the play early. Let me get it called and get to the line of scrimmage.
In case I have to change my mind.
Keller, number 23, could not find Sam Sword. He had to go around. He went the inside route, and Sword came around the outside.
And Sam now has 100 tackles this season. They give it to Montgomery. Oh, it's Keller. It's Keller, Matt Keller, the fullback. And he found a little crack, cut it back to the 5.
If there is an unsung player on this offense for the Buckeyes, you're looking at him right there.
He ain't so unsung anymore because a lot of these Michigan guys were talking about him, including Lord Carr.
Through his career, he's caught 50 passes and 3 touchdowns. He does a great job of blocking.
One more season, he could get his own banjo. Ball is on the 5, where it's 3rd down and 7 now for the Buckeyes. Michigan trying to pin them back. Jermaine fakes it, rolls it out, and goes big deep. It's Boston. First down, Ohio State. They call it a fumble, they call him down. Beanbag is marked back here, but they didn't throw it as Tommy Hendricks picks it up and takes off, and now there's a penalty flag on the sideline. It looks like the beanbag is still laying back here. Now let's. But if it would have been what these two guys decide right here.
If it would have been dead, they wouldn't. One of them would have stopped back there and called the play dead. There was a great call out of the end zone. Personal foul on Ohio State.
Oh my goodness. So they're going to give them the fumble and recovery and the return and plus a personal foul against the Buckeyes, and what was a big play is now going to be way down near the goal line.
I like the call, Keith. You get your quarterback outside the pocket. Then you get your best receiver. Just go deep and throw the ball as far as you can. Can't see if the ball was out there or not.
He's down.
I can't see from that.
He's on the ground.
Well, wait a minute now, Hoss. Just a minute. Let's take a look here. The knee was down.
Knees are down.
Knee was down.
He's got the ball in his bosom, and his knees are on the ground.
His left knee was down.
Oh, that's a bad call. It's a terrible call. I don't care who's playing. It's a terrible call. Ball is on the 15-yard line. An enormous break for the Michigan Wolverines. Brady's pass is thrown and caught by a man on a knee. Marcus Knight made the catch on a knee. So it's dead right there just inside the 10-yard line. And the first quarter's over with Ohio State leading 14-0. Michigan threatening. Back after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
This is ABC Sports, home of the Bowl Championship Series.
Well, it's a stunned stadium here with a reversal of fortune as we start the second quarter of play. It looked like Ohio State had gotten out of trouble, had a big play to Boston downfield. They ruled a fumble and recovery returned by Michigan.
There's another look. Watch his left knee. His left knee will be down before the ball comes out. Right there. And the ball comes out.
2nd and 5.
That's a close call. I mean, that's tough, but it's
second
no
down
doubt.
and 5 for Michigan at the 10-yard line of Ohio State. Give the ball to Clarence Williams, and Williams will get maybe the 9 out of it, and that'll be all. Niall Diggs, the tackle for the Buckeyes.
Stop was made by Niall Diggs, Andy Katzenmoyer.
So it's going to be 3rd down, and the ball is just inside the 10.
No gain, 3rd down and 5.
When teams get inside, they've 150 times the opponents have been inside. They've scored 13 times. They've had 150 possessions, scored 13 times, scored 11 of 13 is what I'm trying to say.
Double tight end now in for the Wolverines on 3rd down. Brady stands up and throws to the corner for Streets. He's beyond the field of play. Ahmed Plummer defending, and
Pass incomplete, intended for number 8.
here comes the kicking team. Jay Feely, the place kicker, will come in now, and Michigan will try to get 3 out of this.
Well, that tells you something what Michigan is thinking. It was 3rd down, and all they wanted to do is just throw it up and have a jump ball for Streets against Plummer.
Rob Renis snaps it. It's good. The hold is good. The kick is good. And so the Michigan Wolverines got a 27-yard field goal to get on the scoreboard to start the 2nd quarter of play. Now 14-3 Buckeyes. Hayden Epstein from Cardiff, California. That's down in the La Jolla area. He is going to kick it off for the Wolverines. Michael Wiley, number 5, and Jonathan Wells, number 28. All the people waiting for it. Wiley perhaps the more dangerous of the two. High, deep kick way back there, and there'll be no return. That kid's got something left for it. So they'll come out to the 20-yard line. After the conclusion of the game, we'll pick the Chevrolet most valuable players from each team. Chevrolet making a contribution to each school's general scholarship fund. And here comes Ohio State now. It's a curiously passive group on the Ohio State side after that last call.
Yes, both teams, both offenses have benefited from a, I don't want to say a mistake. Michigan's muffed punt snap by the punter, Vincent, was a mistake. But the missed call by the official, I guess you have to say, hurt Ohio State and led to 3 points for Michigan.
So from the 20 now, Buckeyes 1st down. And Jermaine back to throw. Nobody around, nobody available. He's looking for Boston to separate. Boston can't. And finally, Jermaine runs it out of bounds.
It's a good point, Keith. He did not separate. None of the receivers downfield could separate, even though Joe was outside the pocket with lots of time to throw.
Gain of 4 to the 24, 2nd down and 6.
Pretty good job by Whitley on him right there.
Yeah. Yep. He's got it.
So Jermaine picks up 4 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 6 from the 24. Better hurry. Oh, that's pretty good stuff right there, isn't it? Pass is completed to Michael Wiley out of the backfield. And the tailback will get it up near the 1st down marker, but there's a penalty flag over there in the melee.
And it's back where Jermaine threw the ball from.
Joe leaping over the would-be tackler and the blocker. And it was that collision
roughing the passer.
Roughing the passer, huh? That must have come pretty late.
Check out this move by Gentleman Joe. Nice move, a spin move, and then I want to thank you very much.
Yeah,
and then a late hit.
Late hit. Yeah, Josh Williams got there too late on him. That's the call. So it gives the Buckeyes a big 1st down out at the 44-yard line.
Great move by Jermaine. First, the reverse pivot to avoid the sack, and then when he saw the turned around and there his guy was, he just had the presence of say, hey, I'll just go over you.
Yeah, that's kind of stuff will get Joe the lead spot in the conga line, won't it?
He never seems to get excited, but you know he is.
Copenhaver's coming, and got him with the coattail. Freisinger was the man that got him by the coattail, but it was Copenhaver who made it possible.
Yeah, that's what Jim Herman, the defensive coordinator, say they have to do, is pressure the quarterback and rattle him. Get after him and then rattle him a little bit and mix the coverage in the secondary. There's a look at Jim.
Well, that's a big loss. That's 11 yards.
Well, not only did he back up,
33 at 2nd and 21.
We didn't come forward any.
And so it'll be 2nd down and 21 now for Ohio State.
See, Copenhaver, number 43, did a nice job of containing. By that we mean they didn't let him get outside the pocket. They kept him in so the other two guys could sack him.
Got it off just in time. He's really playing that play clock close. The pass is completed to D. Miller. Andre Weathers was there in his shirt pocket, but the catch was made by Miller, and that's still not back to the original line of scrimmage.
D. Miller is the one that caught the touchdown pass, and he suffers by being on the same team as David Boston. Miller came into the game with 54 receptions.
Ball is at the 42-yard line, which 3rd down and 12 now. 3-4 wideouts in the ball game for the Buckeyes, and penalty flags all over the place. You've got some movement here by Ohio State. Came on the right side of the line.
Ball starts. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
And that'll drive Coop nuts. I mean, 3rd and 12 is difficult enough to make, but 3rd and 17. Now you think about saying, don't throw an interception. Don't make a mistake. Burris on the left side right there. Number 67, the right tackle.
That'll put it back on the 37-yard line and make it 3rd down and 17.
Coop's used to that. They're the most penalized team in the league.
Passes away. Wiley down under it, and it is incomplete. Weathers coverage on the play against Boston on this near side. They had 4 wideouts out there, and they looked obviously for Boston first. And the thundering hooves were coming. Jermaine had to get rid of it.
He got up. They knocked him down. He had to get rid of it, but I like the call. 3rd and 17. Throw it down the field. Go straight down. Maybe you get a jump ball. Maybe you get an interference.
So in DuPont Bartholomew, his 3rd of the day. First 2 have been 49 and 46. Penalty flag. Not a particularly good kick. Marcus Knight comes up, accepts the ball, loses his balance, falls ahead to the 30, just over the 30-yard line. Let's see about the flag.
That was made by Steve Molisera.
It's against Ohio State. So the Michigan Wolverines probably want them to do it again, though they do have the ball at the 30-yard line.
That's Lloyd Carr's call, whether he wants to take it on the 30 or have him kick it again. He'll take it on the 30.
Take it on the 30-yard line with 11:49 to go in the first half and a 14-3 lead for Ohio State. Presentation of college football brought to you by the Grand Dam with solid form design. It's excitement well built from Pontiac. The Home Depot, America's home improvement coach. Burger King. If you ask us, it just tastes better. And the document company Xerox. Keep the conversation going, share the knowledge. And we'd like to thank Tostitos, proud sponsor of the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, college football's national championship, for providing aerial coverage. First down from the 30-yard line for the Michigan Wolverines. Brady rolls it out, wanted to go deep. Has all day, and finally they flush him out of the pocket, and he'll pick up a couple of yards. There was nobody available downfield.
That's one of the staples that they like to run. Usually both tight ends coming across. Nobody available that time. Here's a look at the first 5 possessions. They've punted on every one except the last one, and look where they got the ball, where they started on Ohio State's 14-yard line and couldn't do anything with it.
2nd down and 8. Penalty flags before the play. No option here. A dead ball foul.
You're getting pretty good on those calls here, Hoss.
Jeff Backus, number 79, is the man that moved on it. Jeff's had trouble with that all season.
We'll make you an official Big Ten official. I got to tell him what happened before the game.
That's too hard. That's a hard job. I don't want it. It's easier to sit up here in the catbird seat and have opinions.
I just got to tell it. I got to tell a story here in a minute.
Oh, no. Second down and 13 for Michigan. Out of the shotgun for the first time. Brady quickly. Inside it goes to Ty Streets. And Ty is sort of, what do you call that, wide receiver screen type of movement?
Yeah, the jailbreak they call it. Wide receiver screen, but nothing was there. Before the game, one of the,
Earl Self.
Sorry, yeah, before the game he came up, and one of the Big Ten officials, and just to thank Keith for all of his good work throughout all of the years in college football, gave him an official Big Ten official's watch, I guess you might say. And I asked him if he had anything for me, and he said, I haven't gotten anything yet.
You haven't got any room in your house for any more helmets. This is Brady up across the 35 to the 36. The Ohio State defense playing very well so far in this ball game. Katzenmoyer and Diggs that tackle.
None of the receivers downfield shook loose. There was a red shirt shadowing every one of them, and that's why Brady, when he found some time, couldn't throw the ball and had to run it.
High kick by Vinson. Not much carry on it. And it is fielded at the 33-yard line by the Buckeyes, and that's where they'll put it down. David Mitchell came over and caught it on the bounce, thinking that he might pop out of there when nobody was looking, and sometimes you can. Tomorrow night, live at 8:15 Eastern Time on ESPN, Sunday Night Football, the New Orleans Saints and the San Francisco 49ers, who have run into some hard times of late. And then Monday night on ABC Sports at 8 Eastern Time, Monday Night Football, Miami and New England. And it's New England that's struggling a bit now as we get into the middle of the season. This is Joe Montgomery wiggling around and pretty lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage with that one. They'll give him a yard.
Don't think for a second that the Patriots won't be ready for the Dolphins.
They got to get some receivers healthy. All their receivers have been hurt.
And I think they've lost 4 in a row, but they always play Miami tough. Speaking of other teams, I bet the Wisconsin Badgers are watching this one before their 3:30 start. If Ohio State wins and Wisconsin wins, they go to the Rose Bowl.
Down the sidelines, intended for D. Miller. Double coverage on him this time. No way in the world he's going to get loose. Marcus Ray and James Whitley running right with him.
Third or fourth time that Ohio State has thrown the ball down the sideline deep. And that affects those defensive backs. Don't think it doesn't. Just going straight up the field. Ray, number 29, gets over for the double coverage.
But you see, Miller had separated himself just a little bit.
A little bit. It would have had to be an awful good throw.
Perfect throw to get to him.
Yeah.
But he's pretty clever at that. 35-yard line. It's 3rd down and 9. Here comes the heat. Passes down the middle, and it is caught by David Boston for a first down. 48-yard line. Deonte Jones, the tackle.
So Michigan changed up their defense a little bit there, and they went to a 3-man line and blitzed one guy from the outside and went zone behind it. And that's why Boston is so wide open in the center of the field.
And why the linebacker had to make that tackle at that particular place. More heat coming, but he steps away from it and he goes down to Boston again, and he stopped. The pass was short. The defender never saw it, and it's complete. Tommy Hendricks actually overran it.
Well, credit the offensive line for doing a nice job. Michigan had a blitz. There was tight coverage in the secondary, and if you give the quarterback too much time and allow a receiver to do something downfield, he's going to get open.
See Whitley now, as Whitley turned, and he couldn't get back to make the coverage.
And Bob and Keith, David Boston ran down the field. He got to the outside. It's almost like they're looking at each other eye to eye. He and Joe Germain. He breaks the route to come inside to make that catch. That's just a great relationship, Keith.
And they sack him. The pressure came right up the middle. Eric Bracken, linebacker, fighting his way through there to get to him. 51. He's a freshman from Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. That's where Dolly Parton comes from.
You were just waiting for Brackens to do something.
Been to Pigeon Forge, you know, did a little picking and singing around Pigeon Forge.
Oh, boy. You go to Penn State.
Buckeye necklace. I saw you wearing a Buckeye necklace.
It's about the only thing I ever got from anybody. You get rocking chairs from Penn State, helmets from everywhere we go. You get watches and everything else. And I get a, hey, how nice to see you, Bob.
Yeah, but you're going to be around another 10 years. This is my last trip to the shoe. Yep. Tyson Walter, bobbing around a bit that time, big old 77. He's only a sophomore from Bainbridge, Ohio. So he's going to be around a while yet.
5-yard penalty. Still second down.
7:29 to go in the first half, 14-3. Ohio State trying to add to that lead. Buckeyes have dominated this first half of play. Now the Aflac trivia question. This week's question: when was the last time Michigan started 0-2 and went on to win the Rose Bowl? Do you remember? Second down.
I don't.
And 21. Jermaine better hurry. He sidearmed that one. Might be lucky to get that one back. He was looking for Boston. He heard the pounding hooves and he knew, I got to get rid of this thing.
You look at Joe Germain and his demeanor is so calm. It looked like he's never excited. And I liken that, Keith, to a duck swimming across a calm lake. Above the water, it looks so serene and so peaceful. But you know down below the waterline that he's just paddling like hell.
He's been reading books.
Well, I know that way because that's the way I looked and that's the way I felt.
Third down and 21. And off to Wiley. And can't turn the corner on him. They'll put him down just inside the 30. Ian Gold making that tackle for Michigan. Here come the Buckeyes kicking team. Dan Stoltz will come in. This is pretty good size. Wind is not much. If there is any wind at all, it's probably at his back.
And if there's going to be a trick, you might see it here, Keith, because if there's a weakness on this team,
it's right here.
The field goal kicker has not really developed this year.
46-yard try. Bartholomew will hold it. He puts a foot on it. Oh, he missed it. Well, it just hasn't happened for him this year. And so they are turned away. Michigan will get the ball, trailing 14-3. In the Ohio State quarterback, the bandage on the chin, that's a very normal thing for a quarterback. The only quarterback I've ever known in my life didn't have scar tissue on his chin, Bob Greasy.
Now, wait a minute. You haven't looked close enough. Michigan offense not getting it done today. And in fact, this Ohio State defense stopped Michigan on offense last year in this game also.
Anthony Thomas is at tailback. The pass is away to Terrell, one of the young speedsters. And they're going to mark him out of bounds, and they've put him where? Up at the 32.
Play gain 3 yards, line of scrimmage to the 32. It's 2nd and 7.
Look at Diggs. Well, that's not fair. No. Diggs is quick enough, kick enough when he doesn't have to run around anybody or not be blocked. Somebody get a hand on him, guys.
Pickup of 3, 2nd down and 7. Anthony Thomas, those quick chopping steps. That'll be a face mask.
Flag on the play.
Face mask call on the tackle. And that's going to give him a first down.
The reason these officials do this all the time is to make sure that everybody's on the same page. What did you see? I saw this. I saw a face mask. No, I see he was actually grabbing onto something else. So they talk it over.
Personal foul, face mask on the end of the run, 15 yards, first down.
Whoa, 15. Wow.
I think he grabbed it and twisted.
Well, that's automatic. If he pulled it in, he pulled it.
Yeah, he pulled it down, and then he let go of it. But he held him long enough so some of the other troops could get there.
So Michigan has the ball inside the 49 of Ohio State. Second time they've been over there today. First down for the Wolverines. 14-3, Buckeyes lead. Penalty flag. Mark Campbell, the tight end, stood up.
Campbell moved, but he should have gotten back down, because if you're on the line of scrimmage, the end of the line of scrimmage, you can move and get reset.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
I don't know if it was Mark or maybe the man next to him, and he saw it and then walked away. Whatever, it's a 5-yard penalty, and it'll be first down and 15.
I think Michigan offensively, Keith, needs to go back to their inside, their tight ends and their back coming out of the backfield with their passing game.
Truman's not out there right now. He may have been dinged up. Back goes Brady. Has time, better hurry, got it away. Rudzinski was climbing up his back, but he got his pass away incomplete. And it was intended for Campbell. Sorry.
Good coverage, too.
Ohio State defense has played very, very well. James Cotton from Cleveland on that play. 20.
Keith Tillman just walked into the locker room, so I walked over to the Michigan sideline, talked to their head athletic trainer, Paul Schmidt, and he said that they're going into, they took him in to examine his head. He has headaches, which kind of makes me feel like he got his bell rung, Keith.
Well, he did when Katzenmoyer and Winfield hit him. That's when it happened, I'm sure. So they really tattooed him. Brady back. Screen set up for Shea. A head-on there. I mean, that was a head-on collision.
Little Antoine Winfield just gets up and smiles.
Look at that. It's 180 pounds against 251.
Yeah, he's 5'9", 180. He might be the smallest guy on the field.
Gain of 2 on the play, line of scrimmage. The
screen pass.
Third, 13.
This is like running into a stump.
Oh, jeez.
He just stopped.
He just didn't go low to take his legs out. He went shoulder to shoulder.
It's third down and 13. Brady winding up, and now he pays for it. Clinton Wayne, Matt LeVar, and finally Katzenmoyer. And I'll guarantee you the 3 of those dudes will put you on your back.
Well, it's a coverage sack. Brady had plenty of time to throw. And if you're not going to throw it, get outside the pocket and try to get out on the flanks, not up the middle.
So the Michigan offense remains quiet. And they'll have to punt it. Benson gets it's blocked. Buckeyes have a shot at this one. And it's finally picked up. And they're going to call the ball down back at the 20. They're going to call it down at the 20. Derek Ross was a man who was cavorting with it and came blowing in like a chimney falling on him. So Derek Ross has a moment of glory as the Buckeyes blocked the punt.
Michigan had a punt blocked last week, Keith, and this is the same area right up the gut.
You may get a celebration penalty against Ohio State here.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct on the return, 15-yard penalty, first down.
This is strictly judgment on the part of the officials, and they felt it wasn't necessary for Ohio State to be involved in this much celebration after the block.
Right up the gut, the same place that Michigan had a punt blocked last week. They get one block this week.
They kept trying to pick it up and run with it, and then almost lost it.
Did somebody say special teams, special teams, special
Yes,
teams?
they did.
Yep, you're right. So true.
Ball's back on the 35-yard line now, where it's first down for Ohio State. Buckeyes will try a run with Michael Wiley, who's had a 53-yard burst for the opening touchdown of the ball game, and Josh Williams that tackle. Well, I think Ohio State special teams, Bob, are as good as we've seen.
Except for their place kicker. All their other, their punt block. And Cooper calls the punt teams his scoring teams. Whether you run a punt back or whether you have an opportunity to block one, that's an opportunity to score. And they almost scored on blocking it and running it in. And their offense now has a chance to take it in.
Second down and 5. Jermaine's pass caught by Boston. Good for a first down. He got away. He scores. Penalty flag as he canters into the end zone. Poor tackling on that sideline as Boston eluded 2 Wolverines and got in. Hendricks and Weathers were both over there. Somehow he found his way twixt them.
The ball was thrown high, and watch the defensive back. He's going to play the ball. Weathers, watch, he jumps for the ball, see? And then he misses the man. Now watch him point. Right here, he's pointing.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they call, and that's before the touchdown.
That's taunting. Well, he got nailed last year with a penalty against for that very kind of thing, and he does it again. Well, it hurts you. You just give up real estate you don't have to give away. Now, instead of Stoltz being down there for the extra point where it's comfortable, he's got to kick it 35 yards. $35 yards is not a gimme. Got it. So it goes to 21-3. And they need to pour a bucket of water on David, calm him down. He's flying high.
2 special teams mistakes, both on the punting game by Michigan, has led to 2 easy touchdowns by the Buckeyes.
And Bob and Keith, David Boston is just too good a football player, wide receiver, to make those kinds of mistakes. You recall last year, he predicted a score and started talking about what a great game he was going to have against Michigan. Then he got into a real physical contest. He didn't have that score, that great game. He got frustrated by that. He has not been available for the media all week long. All week long, David Boston has not been available for the media because he wanted to stay away from that kind of thing. All a wide receiver does, Keith and Bob, when he points to a guy, when he slams a football, when he dances in the end zone, is give the defensive secondary more motivation to come up and make a bigger hit, to make a stronger hit. You just make a bigger target of yourself. Now again, David Boston is just too good to make those kinds of moves, Keith.
You're singing to the choir up here, Len.
Remember Billy Whiteshoes. Ball is kicked to the 7-yard line where Anthony Thomas has it, breaks out of the pack and gets it all the way out to the 40-yard line. And here is another penalty flag, and we got a couple of guys rolling around on the ground pummeling each other. They throw another flag on them. So while they sort this out, I'll tell you what, let's do. Let's sort this thing out and let's spend a moment with John Saunders.
All right, Keith, and the Burger King update comes from Mississippi State and Arkansas. Mississippi State still on the hunt to get to the SEC championship game. Way back in 8 yards to Reginald Kelly, 7-0. They've added a couple of field goals. 13-zip is the lead at halftime. We'll look ahead to the big games later today. Keith.
All right, John, thanks very much. Mississippi State at home is a tough nut. Jackie Sherrill's bunch, and Arkansas spent so much in that narrow loss at Tennessee last week. See, they could tumble right out of that. Mississippi State could win that Western Division, right? If they beat Arkansas today and then LSU gets Arkansas next week.
Well, Mississippi State has to go to Mississippi.
They got to go play Ole Miss.
Yeah, which is no picnic. All
right, on the 20-yard line now. After all that penalty stuff was sorted out, and it really doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. It's on the 20, and it's 21-3 ball game. Ohio State leading. It's Clarence Williams, the deep man, as Brady is back to throw and completes the pass to Ty Streets. Ty Streets is taken down immediately by Damon Moore. Earlier, we asked you the Aflac trivia question. When was the last time Michigan started 0-2 and went on to win the Rose Bowl? The answer is 1988, when they played USC.
Gain of 2 to the 22, second.
Now you know, as Paul is wont to say, the rest of the story.
And we put that up there because they have a chance to do that this year.
They do.
Although their hopes are fading as this game progresses.
They are in some trouble. Buckeyes are red hot right now. Ball is pitched back. And they're just steaming. Clarence Williams looking for some daylight, and just wasn't anything there for Clarence as Niall Diggs got the tackle.
Stop was made by Niall Diggs.
Niall spelled N-A
Also on the tackle
apostrophe I-L. Niall.
Ryan Pickett. 2-yard gain ball at the 44. It's 3rd down and 6.
There's a look at Niall right there. Keeps his position. This Buckeye defense has held 5 of the last 6 opponents to less than 50 yards rushing. Michigan today has 17 yards rushing.
3rd down and 6. Got a man right in the middle of the field. The pass complete. It goes to Ty Streets, and Ty is going to have a 1st down for the Wolverines, so they'll move the chains and keep the ball out to the 34-yard line.
I think what Michigan has to do, Keith, is throw the ball over the middle, have crossing routes to their wide receivers, or hit their tight ends or their backs in the center of the field. Anything to the outside, those 2 corners are just eaten up.
That is the first Michigan 3rd down conversion in the first half, so they're 1 for 8.
Yeah, and that's not very good when you have less than 2 minutes left in the half.
Brady gets it off, and it's caught by Streets. He's loose, and then finally brought down by Damon Moore, who locked his ankles. So that's a big play. It's all the way down to the Ohio State 32-yard line.
Keith, in big games, the big players, your best players have to step up and make the big plays. Brady holds the ball as long as he can and then lays it out. Streets is open. And then he needed to break a tackle and take it in the end zone.
Clock running, minute 15 to go. Brady back, looking, has time. Pass could have been picked off by Katzenmoyer. Went right through his hand.
Yep.
Diallo Johnson was the intended receiver.
He didn't get to the receiver quickly enough, and Katzenmoyer found out who the man he was open and went there to wait for the football. Look at Katzenmoyer, number 45. He drops straight back, and watch him come this way when Brady looks this way. Quarterbacks don't realize how much they can influence the motion, the drops of linebackers and defensive backs just with their eyes. You look to the left, those guys are going to the left.
2nd down and 10 from the 32. Minute 10 to play in the first half. Brady's pass is away, out of bounds, incomplete. Diallo Johnson was over in the general area with Nate Clements covering him.
3rd down.
Brady has only been outside the pocket, I believe, 1 time. They tried that counter play to get outside the pocket. And he's been under pressure.
Yeah, right there, those outside linebackers, for in fact, all 3 of those backers for Ohio State might outrun Tom.
Yep. I'm sure they do.
Four wideouts now for Michigan. Brady's pass down the middle.
Big
My
catch.
goodness. Marcus Knight caught it and, more importantly, held on as Gary Berry just nailed it.
Somebody's got to make plays, and Knight just came up with a big one. Berry, number 1, is all over him. He had to throw it over the linebacker, and Knight knew he was going to be drilled, but he caught the ball and hung on.
And Michigan calls timeout. They've got the ball, 1st and goal.
Call the OSU ticket office 292-2624 or 1-800.
Blue jeans and tennis shoes to go fishing. They got him looking. Some advertising guy thinks fishermen look like that.
When you start watching commercials.
I was watching that because Don was in it.
I know.
I go fishing in my overall.
Well, this is a big series right here.
First and goal.
Michigan needs a score, and if Ohio State can keep them out, they'll go into halftime with a big lead.
With a history of the Michigan defense this year, they have just been tougher than a doorknob in the second half. They go to the clubhouse with a touchdown and momentum. Look out. Brady is back. Goes to the inside the 5-yard line to the tight end, Mark Campbell.
This is where they missed Tooman, Keith.
Yep. Tooman, remember, Swanee told us a while ago, is in the clubhouse. They're checking him. He's got a headache after taking a hard hit. Michigan has the ball at the 4. 40 seconds to play in the first half. There's no particular urgency as far as time.
Where the crowd comes in, too, down here, Keith.
Yep. They're coming up. Brady throws, and it's Streets. Touchdown. Ty Streets on a jump ball against Ahmed Plummer makes the catch.
Shades of the Michigan State game were, what was his name? Placido Burris, I think, the tall wide receiver for 6'6". They threw the alley-oop against Plummer.
49, Jay Feely.
You've got to find the football and know where it's coming from, and that's a tough play for a defensive back.
Jay Feely for the extra point. It's good. 25 seconds to play in the first half. Now 21-10.
The last time Michigan tried this fade in the end zone, Brady threw it out of bounds. This time he makes sure he gets it high enough, and Streets, all he has to do is see it and jump and then hold on. Plummer had his arm in there, but just didn't get the ball loose. See, the defensive back can not only just look at the receiver, you've got to see the ball coming to be able to knock it loose. If you don't see the ball and play the ball, you'll get beat most of the time.
Touchdown pass with 3 yards.
That was a big drive for the Wolverines.
Huge drive.
To answer that blocked punt touchdown drive by the Buckeyes to come back and get it back going into halftime. And Coop knows what we know. Hell, he knows a heck of a lot more than we know. He knows how tough that Michigan defense is in the second half. They have not allowed a touchdown in the second half in their last 7 games. All the Big Ten schedule, no touchdown second half.
What might have been, Katzenmoyer there had his hands on a pass, could have intercepted it, didn't. Little things add up in the sum. And there's 30 minutes left. That's Michael Wiley at the goal line, looking for a wall on the sidelines and doesn't find it. He comes out to about the 23-yard line with 21 seconds to play in the first half. 21-10, Ohio State leading Michigan. Valvoline halftime at 98 coming up with scores, highlights, all of that with John and Todd out of the studio in New York. A whole bunch of big stuff going to happen between now and supper time too. These are the early hour with a lot of games to be played this afternoon. And all of them have meaning this year.
Yeah, it's like a playoff day. You know, UCLA has to win. Kansas State has to win at Missouri.
USC, UCLA.
Yep. Tennessee and Kentucky.
Remember now, Michigan will have the ball to start the second half of play, trailing by 11 to the Buckeyes. And now let's go to our studio in New York. The second half of this 95th meeting between Michigan and Ohio State. Ohio State leading 21-10. Wolverines getting a touchdown in the closing seconds of the first half, and they took Mo to the clubhouse with them. Anthony Thomas is waiting for the kickoff for Michigan. The Wolverines will have the ball first. But keep in mind what this football team has done in the second half. They have shut down the opposition. Ohio State's Dan Stoltz will kick off now for the Buckeyes. The young man from Louisiana is waiting. Anthony Thomas from the 3. Down at the 14 by Steve Belisari. Here's the defensive story of this Michigan team in the second half this season.
Versus the Big Ten games, which is the last 7 games, they have not allowed a touchdown, only 2 field goals, and 82 yards total offense. In fact, the Michigan defense has as many points, 6, as they've allowed. They've had 3 safeties. They've produced 3 safeties.
Now let's see whether or not their offense can crank up against the Ohio State defense. So far, it hasn't done much. They come out with 4 wide receivers out of the shotgun. And Brady's pass is underthrown and bounces in front of Diallo Johnson. Here's Lynn Swann.
Well, Keith, Lloyd Carr had special teams on his mind and off his lips as he headed into the locker room. Now, when he gets upset, he is not a very talkative man. But he was grumbling about the special teams. He says, I cannot believe we had those 2 blocked punts. I asked him what he was going to do differently in the second half. He says, we're going to come out and we're going to win the football game in the second half, Keith. That's all he had to say.
Well, he's a warrior. Second down and 10. Clarence Williams with the ball. The Buckeyes are a swarming, fighting bunch of tough guys on defense themselves. The Morgan Stanley Dean Witter halftime numbers are these.
Total yardage big in favor of Ohio State. The 1 turnover by Ohio State led to 3 points. Third down conversions aren't very good on either side.
That was a shaky turnover, too.
Yeah, it was. Time of possession is in favor of the Wolverines.
Brady drops to get more time. Throws, got a man on the move, Marcus Knight. And Knight is going to get it out to about the 28-yard line and will pick up a first down before Nate Clements can lock the leg.
Good call by Mike DeBoer, the offensive coordinator. They go in at halftime. They're not getting the wide receivers up the field open, so let's cross them. So he brings the receiver across the field. It's an easier throw, and you run away from the defensive back that way and pick up the first down. You got to throw the ball inside.
Ball is on the 28 now as he goes back under center, and they go with a run. Give it to Clarence Williams trying to get around the corner, and it's not there. Coming up out of the secondary, number 13, Damon Moore. Stopped his progress up the field. Just starting the second half of play, 21-10, Ohio State leading. Williams has carried the ball 9 times so far today. He has gained 6 yards.
Brady threw 23 passes in the first half alone, completing 14.
Jeremy Truman is still not out there, the tight end. He may very well have a concussion. Rudzinski coming to pressure to knock him down. He gets the pass away, however, legitimately, and it is incomplete.
See, Tom Brady has got to see that corner coming. That was Plummer. When you have a slot receiver and that defensive back is close enough to the quarterback, you've got to look that way. Top of the screen, he was out there over the slot receiver. That's the one that he doesn't see. And they're coming from his left side, so he doesn't see him. When you snap the ball, you got to look that way. As soon as you get the ball, look that way and see if he's coming.
Third down.
There he is.
Pass is caught. Drilled to Ty Streets up at the 45-yard line for another first down.
Starting to throw the balls inside, Keith, the curls and the slants.
15-yard gain to the 45, first down.
This is against Winfield.
They tried to throw outside and deep in the first half, and that didn't work.
When's the last time you remember Michigan coming out to start a half of play with 4 wide receivers?
I think Bo Schembechler probably fainted.
Yeah. Are you still with us, Bo?
I don't think Bo had 4 wide receivers on his team.
First down from the 45. Run it with Williams. Pick up a yard to the 46.
Clarence Williams carrying. That was made by...
This defensive line for the Buckeyes has really improved, Keith. They start 3 sophomores and a true freshman, and they play a lot of guys. They really play 7 or 8 guys.
Well, that's Rodney Bailey, that 94. Johnson is Brent Johnson's a sophomore, number 60. And Joe Brown. Pickett just came out, and Wayne went back in for them.
There's Freddie Puckett, the mastermind of that defense that's ranked 3rd in the nation overall.
Play golf in the snow, too.
Yeah, he was.
On second down, Brady back, gets a little heat. Now runs out of time. He turned back upfield, and suddenly right in front of him was Brent Johnson, and he turned him toward Rodney Bailey, and good night.
Well, Backus, the left tackle on that play, just had all kinds of problems.
Ball at the 45, 3rd and 10.
Top of your screen, the left tackle. I think that's Bailey. Just does a power rush, just pushes him straight back into the quarterback. Good rush by Bailey.
3rd and 10. Knight coming across, throws the ball, missed him, and almost intercepted. No.
Yes.
Did he get it?
Yes.
Rudzinski. I thought the ball bounced.
Well, he did. It bounced off his chest.
So Jerry Rudzinski, who pocketed a $10,000 scholarship today, comes up with the interception at the 46-yard line. And the Buckeyes now have some pretty good territory from which to work.
That ball had to be deflected the way it was fluttering through the air.
I don't know. That's again very close call.
I think his arms were underneath it, Keith, when he hit the ground.
Jermaine back to throw, looking downfield. Nothing there but green grass, so Joe takes off. Gets to the sidelines to avoid the punishment and picks up the first down. Joaquin Fizell was waiting for him. There's Jerry on the bench. Quite a youngster, that guy. He's easy to like.
12 to the 46. Rather 42.
Rudzinski is majoring in finance, Keith, and it was interesting talking to him a couple days ago.
First down.
He's got a bright future.
42-yard line.
And I'm not necessarily talking about football.
Right. Good protection for Jermaine. Now he runs out of time. They're going to get a holding call right here. Joe comes this way to get out of bounds at the 35-yard line. I'm pretty sure the Buckeyes are going to get a penalty right here. Probably holding. Mr. Lemonnier confirms it. Here's Swanee.
John Cooper had a couple of goals coming in for the second half. And he said that the first goal was to stop the Michigan offense, which he did with a big turnover by Rudzinski. He said, and he pointed out that in the first half, he said to me, you know, we only ran the ball 9 times and threw 23 or more. He said he wants to run the ball just a little bit more the second half, but his most important goal, he said, is to take control of the third quarter football, to come out here, play dominant football, and put this fire out on the Michigan side of the field, Keith.
Well, that was a 15-yard penalty there from the spot of the foul, so it'll be first down and 25 now for Ohio State.
The interception was a good start.
That's a pass completed to D. Miller, and Miller's knocked out of bounds at the 49-yard line on the Michigan side of the field. So they nibble some and get some back.
And a few weeks ago, Keith, right on this field against another Michigan team, the Michigan State Spartans, Ohio State was up 24-9. And Coop, I'm sure at halftime, reminded him of that and says, let's go out and put this team away. Let's develop that killer instinct. Don't let them back in the game.
Second down and 17. Run it. Wiley shook off a tackler at the line of scrimmage and goes back to about the 42, which was the original line of scrimmage, where it'll be third down about 10 or 11.
Wiley is such an explosive halfback, Keith. He came in, played some wide receiver, and just does a nice job of bouncing off that tackle of Gold. He's dangerous because you can use him as a receiver out of the backfield. He can go deep, or he can run the ball. And as you mentioned, as you saw early in the ball game, what was it, 53, 57-yard touchdown run.
3rd and 11. Big one down the middle. Boston's there. Touchdown. No flags.
Now, big players make big plays in the big games. And Boston has come around today.
Bill Miles, Chuck Stobart talking to him as he comes off the field. The kick is up by Stoltz, and it is good. So he got away from Andre Weathers, and Joe Germain was on the money. 28-10. Wind kicks up every once in a while to wave the big old flag at the end of the horseshoe, but relatively speaking, it has been a benign day. 38 degrees when we started. Probably still about that. 1 yard deep, Anthony Thomas. Got a crack. Oh, my. Going downhill. He goes all the way to the Ohio State 43-yard line.
He's a big back, too. 221 pounds. He was motoring. Let's go back to the touchdown. The key element, aggressive at the line of scrimmage. Weather gets a jam, but he misses him. Now he's trailing him by 3 or 4 yards, and that's just enough. Jim Herman says we're going to have to take some chances on the outside, jamming these guys, and we got to put pressure on the quarterback. They never got pressure on Germain that time.
David's rewriting the books. First down at the Ohio State 43 for Michigan. Big run back by Thomas. Brady very quickly to the attack. The pass is low. Streets takes it on his knees and makes the catch for a pickup of about 5 or 6 yards.
On the out routes and the stops to the outside, Brady is not getting that ball out there to him, Keith. There's several of them that he's thrown low, and if they were caught, they had to go down to the ground to catch them.
Well, I don't know that he's quite grown into the point where he can let it go soon enough. I mean, it just takes time to do that.
His first year playing.
Yep. Second down and 4. They'll run it and find some room in the middle. Be a yard short of the first down, and here's Swanee.
Well, Keith, if Jeremy Tooman, the tight end we told you about, got his bell rung at the end of the first half, comes back out to the field, he'll be in street clothes. He will not be available to Lloyd Carr or to Tom Brady. He will be terribly missed because he's an awfully good offensive weapon, Keith.
He got a concussion?
He had a head problem.
Yeah, probably is. Give it to Thomas, the big back, to try for the first down, and he'll do it. He went over the left side. Damon Moore took him down, but he hunkered down in behind the center and the left guard and got enough. So they moved the chains, and it's first down at the Ohio State 31-yard line. 28-10, Buckeyes are leading.
What's that?
8:25 to go in the third quarter. The scenario again, Michigan can pull it out. They go to the Rose Bowl, win the conference. Ohio State wins. Then for the Buckeyes to go to Pasadena, they've got to hope that Penn State can beat Wisconsin up at Camp Randall, and good luck on that. There's movement on the right side of the Michigan line.
You just got to keep your poise in there.
Michigan handled Wisconsin pretty well up at Ann Arbor last week. In fact, just shut them down. But that's a 5-yard penalty against the Wolverines. 4:30 Eastern on ABC Sports. Next Saturday, we'll have the Skins game out of the Rancho La Quinta Country Club out in California. Greg Norman is back. We'll tell you more about it in a minute. Here's the ball thrown. They try to bring Streets inside again. And the defense of Ohio State, just too much foot speed there. That's not going to work.
Well, that's that wide receiver screen again, and these guys have seen it. They run it themselves, and they're quick enough to recognize it, and sure enough tacklers to make the play.
Skins game with Greg Norman, Fred Couples, Mark O'Meara, and Tom Lehman will be next Saturday at 4:30 Eastern Time here on ABC Sports.
Nice to see Greg Norman back and hitting some good shots, huh?
Yep.
Anytime you have Elkington as your partner, it
helps.
It doesn't hurt.
It helps. Oh, that ball, there comes the pressure. He got it away. It's a one-handed catch for Thomas on a screen play. And Thomas is pumping away down to about the 12. Boy, he's been very much involved in this possession for Michigan.
Hasn't he, though? He took the kickoff and ran it back inside the 50. This is the second best field position that Michigan has starting from the Ohio State 43. When you get that good field position, Keith, you got to get some points out of it.
Thomas left kind of gimpy looking, Bob.
It looked like he was kind of favoring something.
So he left the field, and Williams comes back, and they put him down back at around the 17. And that's where the first contact with Mother Earth came. Look at Williams step through that tackle. Katzenmoyer had him well back there around the 20-yard line, and Clarence just went right through his arms. And went on down the field to about the 11-yard line.
5-yard gain to the 11-yard line, 2nd and 5.
I can't hardly hear anybody. You got the band playing, you got the public address announcer going.
Watch this, though. He just nimbly goes right past Katzenmoyer.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
So it's just short of the 11, where it is 2nd down and 5. And Thomas is back now. The big back is back. And he'll give it to him. And he'll get it to the 10.
That's Diggs coming out from around the outside to make that play.
Play gain to yard, line of scrimmage to the 10.
Diggs not only leads the team in tackles, but he also leads in sacks and tackles for loss. And they don't just send him in the secondary to cover. He's coming a lot of the time. Big 3rd down play here.
3rd and 4.
5 of 13 conversions on 3rd down for Michigan.
Brady looks at Thomas. Dropped the ball, but I think was able to cover it. Brent Johnson came in there and belted him. The ball came out, but Tom covered it. And the loss is back outside the 15 to the 16-yard line, where it'll be 4th down.
Carr's got to make a tough decision here now, whether to kick the field goal.
Take the points. You've got to take the points, don't you?
He's got time to throw it, but the coverage is there initially, and then the rush gets there.
They'll go for 3. Feely's out there. Brady is the holder. Renus snaps it. Buckeyes came in, got a little heat on it, just missed it, and the kick is good. So at 4:47 to go in the 3rd quarter, it's now a 28-13 ball game, Ohio State. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by the new Silverado, the truck from Chevrolet, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks. Tostitos, proud sponsor of the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, college football's national championship. Direct Computer Solutions for business at home and around the world. Be direct. Dell. And for quality and safety, ask for Rebestos, the best in brakes. Phew. Get a breath after that.
Yeah.
Hayden Epstein to kick it off for the Wolverines with Wiley and Wells waiting for Ohio State. That ball will go beyond the field of play.
Michigan has made some key mistakes today. 2 of them on the special teams, the block punt and then the fumbled punt snap that was aborted. and then the interception, and all three of them led to Ohio State touchdowns, and they all three started from positive. First one was on the Michigan 16-yard line, then the 35-yard line, and then about the 50-yard line, all short distances for touchdowns.
From the 20, first down Buckeyes. Jermaine gives to Michael Wiley. Wiley in traffic. Number 91, Josh Williams, grabs him as he goes by and wrestles him down.
And that touchdown, Keith, that Jermaine threw to Boston was the first touchdown allowed in the second half in conference play by Michigan this year.
Second down, 8 from the 22. Jermaine's pass hooked out here to Keller out of the backfield. Matt Keller on the move, and finally tracked down by Andre Weathers. Score one to the blocking back.
Hey, he says, I was a running back down in Cincinnati in high school. I could carry that pill. Give me that.
D. Miller made a big block for him.
Fullback steps to the left, number 23. And then just slides to the left side.
Miller's 15. He picks up a guy out there that gets him back inside and added 15 yards to it. At its first down, Ohio State just inside the Michigan 30-yard line.
That's a nice call. Mike Jacobs must have seen something that because there was nobody covering the fullback.
This is Joe Montgomery back in the ball game, and he's still pumping. Goes down close to the 20.
Pumping and thumping and dumping.
He's a thumper. Remarkable story, and the injury he came back from to be this strong. Boy.
A couple years ago, he had that serious knee injury. He was out a year, and then came back a little bit, played in a few games, got his confidence, got his strength. And is now a very big part of this offense.
It's second down and 2. It's not 1, folks. I'll guarantee you it's 2, and it's going to be more after Montgomery's caught behind the line of scrimmage by Sam Sword.
Stop was made by Sam Sword.
So Sam has gone past 100 tackles today for his second successive season.
Substitute at the 23.
It'll be third down and 4 now. There was a loss on that play of 2 yards.
Well, if Michigan holds out any hopes of winning this ball game, this defense, which has been so good for most of the season, has got to stop this offense of Ohio State.
Pitch it out to Wiley on a sweep. Cuts it back, and he won't get there. They're going to take him down. That was very good pursuit by the Michigan Wolverines on that play. And it was Sword who knifed through to make it. There's Jim Herman right there. Oh, here comes Stoltz, whose season has been one of peaks and valleys.
He's 11 of 21 in the field goal category.
Dan Stoltz attempting a 40-yard field goal, holding as Brent Bartholomew.
He missed a 46-yarder earlier today. This is a 39-yarder. And it's a big one. 3 points here is big. Got it.
Down the middle.
So it goes back to an 18-point margin for Ohio State at 31-13. And you've got 1 minute and 36 seconds to play in the third quarter. Stoltz to kick it off now for the Buckeyes as they get the 3 points to lead 31-13. Real grass and dry, fast field. Clarence Williams is back there waiting under this one, and Clarence from the 3 to the 18. Belisari the tackle. Now let's
take a look at this week's Marriott moment. November 22nd, 1997. It was the Charles Woodson Show in Ann Arbor. All he did was catch a 37-yard pass, make an interception in the end zone, return a punt 78 yards for a touchdown, helping the Wolverines on their yellow brick road to Pasadena and a share of the national championship. Had to take some antacid after eating a couple of roses. First down from the 19, call it. And out of the shotgun with 4 wideouts comes Michigan. Ball to the sidelines to Terrell. Ball is caught. Now they say no. Did not have control of the ball when he hit the chalk. He's a freshman from Richmond, Virginia. Good size on him at this age, 6'3", 198.
Michigan needs a touchdown here, Keith. Time is running out. There's still a quarter to play, but you got to score 3 touchdowns right now.
Buckeyes have a dime package in on their defense. Pass is away and incomplete. The ball was intended for Ty Streets, and Ty got blindsided by Ahmed Plummer. Whoa, he said. What was that pickup that hit me?
Yeah. He's crossing, which is a good idea, but he needs to get the ball quicker. When you go past the center of the field all the way over to the far quarter of the field, and if they're in zone coverage, you can get hit like that.
3rd and 10 from the 19. Quarterback goes down, ball thrown down the middle.
You got it.
Caught it. Jump ball. Ty Street wins over Antoine Winfield. And it's a huge play for the Michigan Wolverines. In the meantime, Brent Johnson fed Tom Brady to Mother Earth.
And Street says, come in, I need some help. Winfield's going to stay with him all the way. He just doesn't see the ball. I mean, you can be right next to the guy, but if the ball is right above your head and you don't know it, and the receiver does, he's going to catch it.
And the Wolverines are at the Buckeyes' 41-yard line, first down. Trying to answer that field goal. Brady goes to the end zone. He can't get it there. That pass is incomplete. It was underthrown a little bit. Diallo Johnson tried to slip back inside and steal it, but he couldn't do it against Plummer.
But both of these corners, Keith, Winfield and Plummer, are excellent coverage guys. But they do it bump and run, and they're watching the receiver all the time. You can't shake them. But by the same token, they don't see the ball a lot of times.
That fella number 18 out there, Nate Clements, is a freshman from Shaker Heights. There's one tender one out there.
A tender one, huh?
Second down. Here trying to set up a screen for Thomas. And Winfield comes up and butts heads with him and knocks him out of bounds. Antoine, I wish you'd quit doing that. That boy weighs 230 pounds. He's liable to hurt you.
Tell me about Antoine, how he can be 40, 50 yards down the field covering a wide receiver and then up making a tackle on a screen pass 2 plays later.
Well, Bob and Keith, one of the things that's going to help Michigan in an effort to get back in this ball game is the fact that Ohio State, even though they have great coverage, they can't mount a pass rush unless they blitz. Otherwise, Brady has all day to throw the football.
And he's got all day, and he throws, and it is caught. Marcus Knight went over Plummer to get it. And it's a big, big play as Michigan will move the chains down to the Ohio State 13-yard line.
The only way they're completing passes on the outside to the wide receiver versus these corners are with circus catches. It was a little pump and go. And Plummer thought he was in good shape. He went up for the ball, but Knight went up over his head. Plummer's 6 foot tall.
Knight made the play. Brady is setting up another screen, and this time Thomas can't find much daylight and will lose some on it as Katzenmoyer got involved this time. And when Andrew arrives, the closet doors shake. He weighs 255 pounds. So it's a 31-13 ball game, Ohio State. After 3, and we will be back after this message and a word from our ABC station.
This is ABC Sports, home of the Bowl Championship Series.
Here's the final quarter of this 95th meeting between the Buckeyes and the Wolverines. Michigan trailing by 18 points as they come to this quarter, but they own the football. Second down, 11. Ball is at the Ohio State 14-yard line. 4 wide receivers. Tom Brady, no pressure. Throw it hard down the middle, and it's incomplete. Could have been picked off. It was intended for Ty Streets. Both Streets and Gary Berry, the Ohio State defender, had their hands on it.
Well, Brady's got a shot at this ball, and so does Streets. He's going to throw it to our left side right at us. I think Streets kind of stumbled as he was going in there. See Brady looking to the left. That was an opportunity missed.
3rd and 11. Tipped, incomplete. Tipped by Damon Moore. Cut right in front of the intended receiver, Streets, and slapped it away.
What do you think? You're down by 18. Lloyd's over there talking about it.
I think you take the points.
Top left of your screen, number 13. Well, anytime you wait that long and look that long over the middle, it's a dangerous throw.
Jay Feely in for the field goal. It'll be a 30-yard try. It is good. And so Feely adds 3 to the Michigan total, and it's 31-15. Tom Brady, who has become acquainted with the growth of the grass on the stadium floor here at the Horseshoe today, because Tom's been harassed a lot and been down a lot, but has played well. Here's the kickoff. High hanger, and it is Michael Wiley. And he's out to the 17-yard line, and down he goes, and here's 20.
Well, Keith, the toughest passing yardage in football is inside the 20. Look as the streak goes in there, and he gets hit by Winfield. Why does he come up? Because he has help over the top from number 1, Gary Berry, and number 13, look at Moore, coming in, making a play. He's watching the quarterback's eyes, and as Bob said, when you wait that long and throw it down the middle of the football field, it's a very dangerous situation.
A lot of bad things can happen.
So now the Buckeyes will try to respond at 14:36 to go in the ball game. Just outside the 16. Joe Germain throws, and he's got D. Miller over there. And D. Miller's out of bounds at the 43-yard line. If Joe could have waited another stride, Miller might have separated and been gone.
Yeah. One of the things that Cooper told us yesterday is he says we've got to take some chances. Throw the ball down the field. And he told that to Joe Germain. He says take some chances. He says don't be afraid. Let it fly. And that is what he's done here today.
First down Buckeyes, their own 43. 8 men in the box up there for the Wolverines, and Germain getting time. Nope. Taken away by James Hall. Hall fought his way through the block.
Yeah, that's a mismatch
Yep.
for Wiley to be blocking on James Hall. It's the 3rd sack for Michigan, but look at this. I mean, that's a mismatch right there. Hall has been great the last few weeks. He's blocked the field goal, had an interception. He's had a lot of sacks coming into the ball. In fact, he leads the team with 9 sacks now.
He doesn't look 257 pounds when you're walking down the street with him.
He's played so well recently, they're calling him Mr. November.
He sure has played well. Second down. Jermaine's pass is down the middle. Oh, my goodness. He had D. Miller, and he probably had 6 points, and he just flat missed him. Coming up next on ABC Sports, Showdown Saturday continuing with Florida and Florida State. And out west in the Pac-10, UCLA and USC. And in the Big 12, Kansas State against Missouri in Columbia. Check your local listings or call your cable or satellite operator.
Brett Musburger's down in Tallahassee doing that ball game. And I understand that before that he had been down in Gainesville to see the Florida practice. But Bobby Bowden had some surprises, and he didn't want anybody in his practice.
That's Boston in the middle. Boston looking for some help. He almost popped out of there with it. Jake Freisinger finally tracked him down, a big old tackle. And it's a first down for the Buckeyes.
And last little wiggle picked up the first down. There's a look at the protection. 5 steps and throw. They're not holding the ball very long. You know, Boston is not a small receiver. He's 6'3" and 215 pounds. Can run. He needs to work on his footwork and his route running.
He's having a whopper of a day. He's had 9 catches for 203 yards, which is a career high, and scored 2 touchdowns. This is Michael Wiley, who had a 53-yard touchdown run. He picks up 1 yard on that carry. I would, you know, if anybody wants to know what Bobby was doing, I can tell you.
Yeah, down at Florida State.
Yes, he's got Warwick in there at quarterback.
Yeah, well,
probably going to play single wing.
You know, I think Steve has probably had that going on in practice all week. You know,
no kidding.
He's at number 9 lining up behind there, running, you know, doing some stuff.
I don't think it'll surprise anybody.
Yeah.
Mainly because of the loss of Weineke at quarterback.
Yeah, Winky, Steve Winky. Yeah.
Winky.
You know, they're down to their 3rd quarterback because they lost Kendra, really, in the spring, and then they lost Winky. Now they're down to Outson.
And a freshman who hasn't played any to speak of. Jermaine looking for, now the receivers gave up.
Yeah, nobody was open.
Receivers gave up, and then Michigan comes and gets Jermaine. But I think the receivers probably thought by then that Joe was down, and he wasn't.
Well, the only thing Joe could have done is throw it at one of the receivers that was covered. One of the receivers that was covered, he did a nice job getting out of the pocket. But when they're covered, just throw it. You don't have to complete it. Just don't take the sack. There's Miller. I got you covered. Peterson said, I got you covered. Now, Boston, it was only a 2-man route.
See, David quit right there.
Well, David,
he thought he was down.
Yeah, he wasn't the primary receiver because quarterback rolled away from him. But just throw it away.
3rd down. Jermaine underthrows. Ball slipped out of his hands. Looked like he just had nothing on it when it left his hands. Jermaine is now 15 out of 25 for 316 yards and 3 touchdowns. And he's got his 7th 300-yard game this year. So on 4th down, they'll have to punt it.
It wasn't a bad possession for Ohio State. They didn't turn it over, first of all, and they kept it, took some time off the clock, and got some field position.
Now Bartholomew, he will try to kill it deep. Marcus Knight is the man waiting for it. He kicks it away from him, makes him run across the field. Now it takes a good bounce for Ohio State, rolls inside the 10, and dead at the 8. That's pretty much how you write the book. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Ford Explorer. Explorer built Ford tough. Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it up Bud Light. Morgan Stanley, Dean Witter, we measure success one investor at a time. And Chili's, a proud sponsor of ABC College Football. The aerial views of Columbus, Ohio today, courtesy of Tostitos, proud sponsor of the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, this year's College Football National Championship.
We'll be there.
Looks like it's going to survive hunting season. Don't let any honkers fly by, though. All right, the ball is on the 8-yard line for the Michigan Wolverines. It's be careful country. Brady's back in his end zone, gets his pass out of there and misses. His man, Ty Streets. And we won't miss ours, John Saunders.
All right, Keith, the Burger King update. Arkansas trailed in this game at halftime, but 3 times this year that's happened and they won the game. That's Clint Sterner, 30 yards to Anthony Lucas in Arkansas. Now with the lead and just about a quarter and a half away from the SEC championship game.
Oh. Imagine how much baggage Stern would have to tote around after that fumble last week, though, if something heroic doesn't happen for him. Brady's back, passes away. This time he hits Marcus Knight, and Knight will get it out to the 16-17. He's a yard or so short of the first down.
Bet your boy Frank Broyles is smiling out there in Little Rock.
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
I bet he's in Starkville.
Well, he's there now, but...
Frank didn't need the airplane for half this season.
9-yard gain to the 17-yard line. 3rd down and 1.
Big play right here.
3rd down and about a yard and a half. That's close.
Ball carrier was Anthony Thomas. Stop was made by Andy Katzenmoyer and Gary Barrett.
They're having a look. 1st down.
First down.
I want you to pay attention to this next thing now because it takes a little thinking, and I'm not sure I can explain it, but it's a look at the Home Depot coaches fact. Michigan, Ohio State from 1969 through 78. Bo Schembechler and Woody Hayes. Look at how close that was. We'll have to come back to explain that 6 shared business down there. Brady throws on the money, caught by Diallo Johnson, and that's another 1st down. The Rose Bowl trips each one of them had, you see 5 and 5. The Big Ten championships, they won 2 each outright and then shared 6 others.
So they played against each other 10 times. And they went to one or the other went to the Rose Bowl 10 years in a row. That's where all this rivalry and history started, I think.
Brady's pass is good to Johnson. Now the Michigan offense starts to come alive as Johnson will pick up another 1st down for the Wolverines and take it to midfield. It's 31-16.
Well, the situation is Michigan down by 15 points, needs 2 touchdowns, and after one of those touchdowns needs a 2-point conversion. That's the easiest and quickest way for them to catch up.
Which is why they had to take the 3-point opportunity when they had it a while ago. Which is also why the Ohio State defense now has got to hitch up its britches. Michigan gets going downhill on you in the 2nd half. They're tough to handle. There's a sack. Comes from Clinton Wayne. He's a Canadian sophomore from Brompton, Ontario.
Sacks are killers in these situations. Michigan going up with a hurry-up offense. Little game on the left side, and that's what caused it.
Lost 9 yards, 2nd down and 19. Go to the sidelines with it, and the pass intended for Terrell is incomplete. Antoine Winfield is over there, and Terrell is, well, he's still bigger than Antoine, but Antoine doesn't know that.
This defense for Ohio State has played a heck of a lot better, Keith. In fact, especially when you talk about sacks, the last 6 games they've registered 29 sacks. I don't know what they were doing the first 5 games, but they're turning it up right now.
Well, they've had 5 sacks today by 5 different players. Deep drop for Brady. Slips and will go down. Lost his footing. That slip cost him because he couldn't then step away, and Pickett got him. Oh, that's demoralizing for a young quarterback to have that kind of thing happen to you.
Well, he's almost been a sitting duck back there. He doesn't have the mobility to get outside the pocket, so Michiganers not asking him to get outside the pocket. So he's almost a sitting duck. If he doesn't throw it, they're coming after him.
You got 9 Buckeyes up along that line of scrimmage. Now they're starting to peel off a little bit, like they might want to return here instead of go for the ball. They go for a return. And Vincent gets a very good kick here and forces the fair catch call. David Boston comes back to make the fair catch, and it'll be first down at the 23-yard line on a 43-yard high-hanging punt. When we started the second half, we used the graphic to show you what the Michigan Wolverines defense had done in the second half against the Big Ten opposition. All right, look at season there. That's what they were giving up. Look what Ohio State's done to them today. That's why Ohio State's out in front 31-16.
Well, the big number is at 216 yards. They've kind of dominated the second half.
Yep. So the Buckeyes go to work from the 23. That's Joe Montgomery. He'll get it up to the 28 for a 5-yard pickup. Sam Sword making the tackle.
Gain of 5 off the 28, 2nd and 5.
With 8:09 or 8:05 left, Michigan needs a turnover. They need to shake something loose and get a short field and get back in this game.
And Montgomery will get about to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
Stop first by number 20, Ian Gold. Gain of the play, 3rd down.
The BCS games that will be shown on ABC television, the Bowl Championship Series, the Rose Bowl and Nokia Sugar Bowl on January 1. Rose Bowl presented by AT&T. January 2nd will be the FedEx Orange Bowl, and then January 4, your national championship game, Tostitos Fiesta Bowl from Tempe. Jermaine gets his pass off, and Boston just flat dropped it. Holy cow.
Well, that was a first down. Now they got to kick the ball away. He hasn't done that very often today.
He hasn't. I mean, that was right where you wanted. At the top end of the 9. So now they got a punt, and Michigan's going to come out of this with pretty good field position too. 7:12 to play in the game. Penalty flag. That might be a call against Ohio State for movement. That's a good kick, and it runs the Knight all the way back to the 25-yard line. But they may want him to do it again. Belisari down for the 3rd, 4th time today. 4th time he's made that tackle.
He has, and we haven't said enough about him. He's a true freshman. He was a quarterback in high school. He's playing defensive back and all the special teams, and he could be the starting quarterback next year.
I think Michigan will want him to do it again.
I think so, and I think he's already signaled that. Bartholomew is really a fine kicker. His numbers this year haven't shown it. I don't think he's, with this offense, I don't think he, first of all, has gotten the number of punts that a lot of the other guys around the country have gotten. And secondly, I think he's had some short field punts, too.
That little movement along the line, it'll back him up 5 yards, and that was a good hit by Bartholomew. Now he's got to try to duplicate it. Special teams, special teams. There are 10 Wolverines up on the line. Make him rush it a little bit. Got a pretty good kick away. He kicks it away from the Michigan returning Knight. Doesn't give him a chance to run it back, but they pick up about 16 yards on the different punts. That's a 40-yarder. Lloyd Carr, who succeeded Gary Moeller as the football coach at the University of Michigan, has been over there for some 20-odd years. He's about to taste that bitter thing called defeat, I think, in this series. John Cooper, well, Coop's been there and done that, and he's waiting. He's holding his breath.
He hasn't tasted victory in this rivalry, but one time, and this is the 11th year, so this will only be the second time he beat Michigan.
On first down, Brady back, pressure coming from the outside. The pass is deep downfield, and it's completed to Marcus Knight. That was a terrific throw and great concentration by Knight to make the catch.
4 wide receivers, all of them going 4 vertical, and Brady just picks out the right guy. The key is protection. Shea gets the last blitzing linebacker, and a nice throw over the head of Winfield.
And it's first down at the at the Ohio State 27-yard line, and Brady goes for the corner. That's incomplete.
Another jump ball.
Ahmed Plummer was up and trying, and could have maybe had an interception if they'd stayed in the field of play.
Yeah, he just landed on his back and got the ball, got the wind knocked out of him. Had the ball and lost the ball too. This is a jump ball situation. He just doesn't get it high enough. It's too flat. And Plummer this time is inside of him and makes a nice play.
So it's second down and 10. Sideline Knight at the 22. Marcus is becoming a go-to guy. He's a junior. He's back next year. Streets is gone. Well, Marcus is going to have to step up and become the big man, I think, for the Michigan receiving corps.
Carr recruited an outstanding class this year, and he had 2 of the best wide receivers in the nation that will step up and get a lot of playing time next year also.
3rd and 5. Here they come. Pick them up. Force the quick throw, though. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Ahmed Plummer. He made the play down there in the corner of the end zone, and now he comes through to torment the quarterback.
And they're coming from the backside of the quarterback where he doesn't see them. Those guys can't be blocked. From right here, you see Plummer 19 looked like he was covering the guy in the slot. And Brady never saw him. You've got to see that guy. You've got to have a hot read, and if he comes, you've got to release him. Brady never saw him all day.
4th and 5. At 6:25 to play. Intercepted. Plummer. So in a series of 3 plays, Ahmed Plummer is mighty tall.
You got to mention the name Freddie Buckeyes, the defensive coordinator, who put Plummer out on the outside and then had the scheme to put him on the line of scrimmage to blitz the quarterback, and then has him in position to intercept this ball. It's behind him. Plummer picks it off. And Cooper knows, I think we got this one won.
Well, he also knows the old Yogi line ain't over till it's over.
Yeah, but he's feeling pretty good about it.
Like Yogi said, when you come to the fork in the road, take it.
Well, Bob and Keith, I'll tell you one thing. The series before this, when Ohio State had the ball on offense, I thought that was a key play, because the one thing Ohio State hasn't done all year was really just put teams away. There are a couple of teams in this season they could have had 60 points against, but they didn't do it, Keith.
So we've got a 6:20 time to play in the game. 31-16 is the score. Time you see. The crowd today, 94,339. That is the 8th largest ever, and it's the high for the season.
No surprise there, right?
No, I said no. And it's been fun. So first down for the Buckeyes from the 17-yard line. Jermaine hands that ball away to Michael Wiley. And the Wolverines jump all over him and call timeout.
Let's take a look at the bowl championship standings. Keith, I know this is something you're watching very carefully. The top 3 teams are all undefeated. Tennessee, UCLA, and Kansas State. Florida State and Florida play today. A&M has a chance. Ohio State is 7th and down there. And there's a lot of talk about if you're going to lose a game like Florida State and Florida both have a loss, A&M has a loss, and Ohio State. This is the best team I've seen all year, Keith. We've seen Ohio State, what, 3 or 4 times. Best team I've seen, and because Coop lost late in the season, it's going to drop him down lower than those other teams and maybe not give him an opportunity to get back up to the top.
Well, we talked about that Florida State in the Florida State game, Bob, about how many teams have won national championships with 1 loss. And you go back to 1982, and 7 teams have still come back to win the national championship. Keep in mind, Florida State a few years ago played each other. Florida State won. They had a chance for a rematch in the bowl game. Florida comes out on top, wins a national championship. Timing is maybe 90% of this.
Let's have a round robin, and I'll take the Buckeyes.
The round robin playoff? Yeah. Yeah. You go talk to all the presidents around that set these rules. And
I've been wagging about that for so long, I'm tired of it. Second down, 11.
But this is the best we've had so far. Along the way, the coalition, the alliance.
Wiley cuts it back. Great move. Got open field. Andre Weathers, the only man that can get him, and he does. Wow. What a great cut by Michael Wiley. And it's first down at the Michigan 48-yard line.
A nice mix of power and speed when you talk about Montgomery and Wiley. Starts out, this is something special here.
Weathers was the last bastion twixt him and the goal line.
Looked to me like Michael was a little bit tired. Maybe the gas was running down a little bit. 4th quarter, late in the game.
David Boston limped off the field.
Wiley's run 11 times for 120 yards and 1 touchdown.
Well, the carry doesn't get much. Wiley's still in there. Josh Williams making that tackle. So it's at the line of scrimmage. It'll be second down and 10. Promos. Showdown Saturday. And some head knocking coming. I mean, I'd like to be a paint salesman for tomorrow. Florida and Florida State down in Tallahassee. It's UCLA and USC in the Coliseum in Los Angeles, or the Rose Bowl. I can't remember. Rose Bowl, Pasadena. Kansas State's up at Missouri in Columbia. So check your local listings for the game. These folks are defining games. All be so smart by Tuesday morning, we can't stand it.
Here's some of the big-time quarterbacks in those games. Johnson, McNown, UCLA, and Michael Bishop. We saw him last week, and was he something special?
It's a shooting star, that fellow.
We've never seen Kansas State. I'd never been to Manhattan, and it was...
That's a pretty good football team, too, folks.
Bill Snyder has done a great job out there.
I think they're going to miss Hickson. He not able to play.
Running back.
Yep. I'll miss him a lot, I suspect. They spent a lot. K-State spent a lot last week in winning finally after 29 years against Nebraska.
A big emotional win.
Michigan, Michigan's not through. They go to Hawaii.
That's right.
And you can get scalped in Hawaii. I mean, they can ambush you.
Oh, come on. They haven't won a game all year.
I don't care. That's you know what their ally is, don't you? Sunshine and the beach. Boston back in the game. Makes that catch.
Boston has just had a huge game.
Davis starting to talk a little bit now. He was giving Ian Gold some conversation, and one of the officials walked in between them and said, "Going back and play your game."
Boston has had a 57-yard reception, 2 of over 30, and 1 of 43. They've had 8 plays of over over 8 plays for 328 yards total.
On the first down from inside the 35-yard line, it's Joe Montgomery. And Joe bangs away and gets it down to about the 28. We've got 4 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock, and it stops at 4:51 there.
You think they aren't alive up at Camp Randall Stadium in Wisconsin?
Ooh-wee.
All they got to do is beat Penn State, and they're off to the Rose Bowl.
Well, you can feel the hum starting to build. 1 win, 1 tie, 8 losses over 10 years. Folks, there's going to be a party in Columbus tonight if they can hang on to this thing. Montgomery banging his way in there. They want to run that clock. It's at 4:40, and here's Mr. Lynn Swann.
Well, Keith, I just want to go back to what we talked about at the top of the ball game. When John Cooper talked about the fact that he wanted and needed for his great ball players to have a great ball game, and David Boston has had that for him. It's kind of ironic that 1997 against Michigan, it was David Boston who didn't have the great game, who lost his poise and didn't show the maturity. And he comes back in this ball game a year later, a junior, more experienced, improved in this game, and he's been one of the big keys for the Ohio State lead in this ball game, Keith.
This is his 4th year at Ohio State, and he has never beaten Michigan. In fact, these seniors have an opportunity to win more games than any senior class ever at Ohio State, and they are yet to beat Michigan, but looks like today they're going to take care of that business.
Stop is made by William Peterson.
Well, though they have the loss, they have just dumped the bucket on, it was Freddie Puckett, didn't it? Didn't Puckett get it? It looked to me like they just poured that big old barrel of ice water on top.
There you go.
Yeah, there's Puck. Got him. Defense played very well.
Looks like they're going for it on 4th and 5.
Better hurry. They got it off just in time. That good block to pick it up. Go to the end zone with it. And no foul. And the pass is incomplete. Weathers covering Boston.
Here's a look at what we're talking about. You know, I imagine they're going to be partying, but they're also going to be partying in front of a TV watching that Penn State-Wisconsin game, because if Penn State knocks them off, then Ohio State goes to the Rose Bowl. And, you know, even if they don't go to the Rose Bowl, Ohio State will be selected for one of the top bowl games, either the Orange Bowl or the Sugar Bowl.
Yep,
if not the Fiesta, if they don't get themselves back up in the top one.
Michigan lost the concentration again. You got some movement up front. That's going to cost them 5 yards.
Prior to the snap, ball starts, offense, 5 yards, still first down.
Ball comes back to the 24-yard line, where it's a 1st and 15 for the Wolverines. That's a wounded goose that's eventually dropped. Almost had it, but Brent Johnson was involved in the play, and the big fellow from Kingston messed it up.
He had a sack and an interception last week in their win, and he is really coming along as a defensive lineman, Keith.
Only a sophomore.
Yep.
A little more cornbread, and he'll be up around 275 or so. A couple of weeks this summer, and maybe 4 weeks in the weight room.
Some sawmill gravy?
Sawmill gravy. 2nd down and 15. Ball thrown, completed to Terrell. Terrell is tackled at the 30-yard line. That's 9 yards short of the first down. Nate Clements, who's a freshman, made that tackle. Michigan hurrying to the line of scrimmage. Time precious here at 2:50. Ohio State leading 31-16. Brady's pass is away. The pass is caught by Diallo Johnson, a junior out of Detroit. and he's going to have a first down for Michigan up around the 43-yard line. So the Wolverines, no quit in them. I think Michigan's had a good football season. They opened up, they were stunned by 2 losses to open the season by Notre Dame and Syracuse, and then came back to win 8 in a row.
Yeah, and those 2 losses were against option offense type teams, as you know.
Yep. Brady lets it go big. Marcus Knight. Crowd is hooting on it. Knight could have been called for it, but Armid Plummer spoils the play, and it's an incompleted forward pass.
Well, Winfield may get all of the attention and the plaudits, but Ahmad Plummer is one of the top corners in this conference too.
Well, he certainly had an All-American day-to-day. My goodness, he's played well.
He has 8 career interceptions and 1 here today.
Brady now is 30 out of 54 for 363 yards, an interception, and 2 touchdowns. They're both Michigan records for completions as well as attempts.
And 6 sacks on the day, maybe more.
6 sacks,
yeah.
And make it 7.
There's more.
Rudzinski was the first one to get there.
You've got to get him out of the pocket some. Tom Brady needs to work on some mobility in the offseason and be able to sprint out on the sideline. You just can't sit back and expect an offensive line with the defensive line know you're going to throw and know where you're going to be to hold him out.
3rd and 16 for Michigan. Johnson steps out of bounds. That's short of the first down. But it kills the clock at 1:49 to play in the ball game, and so I'm sure they'll go on 4th. It's academic. Ohio State had 11 sacks down at Iowa last week. So the Sackers are having a big time for the Buckeyes in the final 2 games of the season.
11 sacks last week, and they've got a ton of them already, half a dozen and more.
Nope. 10 complete. Plummer spoiled it for Knight. And so Ohio State will take over the football with 1 minute and 44 seconds to play. And you can close the door.
And now they know. Nice play.
Ahmed Plummer and John Cooper. And Coop can taste it now. So Ohio State just simply has to run out the clock. One of the great names, 2 of the great names in Ohio State history of their football here. Of course, Rex Kern, quarterback. Archie Griffin, the great double Heisman Trophy winner. Some reflections from them as we near the end of this one.
The reason we were recruited to come to Ohio State University was to play against that team up north. And Woody always told us that the way to the Big Ten championship and to the Rose Bowl opportunity was through that school up north.
We played usually pretty well against Michigan because we prepared for Michigan all year long. I mean, all of our spring practice was geared towards Michigan. The first day of practice every week during the regular season was geared towards Michigan. Michigan was a game that we shot for.
And there have been lean times. Woody's last 3 years here, I don't believe he won, did he, against Michigan? And now finally Cooper has broken through to...
You don't know how big a win this is for John Cooper unless you live in Columbus or the state of Ohio.
That's right. And so the folks are starting to pour out of the stands, and they're going to run them back now. There's 30 seconds left to play. And the Ohio State players are trying to keep the students back. They have come out of the student end of the stadium, and the game has not ended. The referee, you know, has the privilege of declaring the game over if he feels it's a threatening circumstance. And I don't think this is. This is simply one born out of joy. There's a penalty flag on the field.
Marcus Ray. For high school where Archie Griffin went.
They're going to let the clock roll, and now Michigan is saying, all right, let's go home. That's enough of this nonsense. And they let the crowd go, and they'll just let the clock tick away, and the football game is over. And the Ohio State Buckeyes have defeated the Michigan Wolverines by a score of 31-16. And it's been quite a treat for the Buckeye faithful. The Chevy players, the most valuable players of the game for Chevrolet, are Ty Streets for the Michigan Wolverines. He had 9 catches for 118 yards and a touchdown. For Ohio State, 10 catches, 217 yards and 2 touchdowns, David Boston. Chevrolet donation to each school's General Scholarship Fund, a Chevy tradition for more than a quarter of a century. It's Keith Jackson, Bob Greasy, Lynn Swan. For me, a goodbye from the Horseshoe.